Hi YouTubers! Well, there's some clickbait title. YouTube, free expression, endless possibilities, free speech. Now you know all about how drama gets clicks, Foozy, and I wanted people to see this video. Now I love Lilly. She's bright and she's creative and energetic and positive, and she has a very sharp and professional type channel. Now she told The Rock that YouTube channels should be high energies, so I'll do my best. But you know, some like some low riders too, just saying. Oh my God, get out of here! That was totally unnecessary, I'm sorry. Now I love Lily's original content and how positive her intention is to be.
My intention is to spread positivity right now. It is not to be judgmental.
You know, intentions is important when considering actions and words, but sometimes they have little to do with the consequences of what can result. You know, it's okay to be judgmental. To make judgments for yourself and where you align your principles is good. What you deem good for you and not good for you is good. But to judge another under those same pretenses is where it gets sticky. That is what you cannot force. Your judgment cannot forcefully, physically affect another.
It is to spread positivity. It is also in hopes of doing my little bit. I like when people think critically. I think that's important.
That's good. I like critical thinking as well. Critical thinking requires some introspection. And sometimes introspection requires reflective downtime. And sometimes introspection comes when you are not minding yourself.
And so those are my intentions. It is not to say people are wrong and people are right. I understand there's very rarely right and wrong. There's different.
Lily, there is right and wrong. Often. And there's differences that can create degrees of rights and wrongs. You can understand to some degree how those rights and wrongs came to be by looking at the place that it's come from and some history. I feel like humble right now. However, only understanding the reasons of things doesn't really change the consequences of them. We can all assess what's positive to us. Some person's garbage is another person's treasure. Negativity or heavy topics are not inherently bad. You can stop addressing them as though they need to be avoided. In our parents' day, they didn't really talk about religion or politics. It was a no-no. The internet has liberated us from that because speaking on the internet is not so personal as it is face-to-face.
This is me being passionate about the cause and trying to help it.
The more subscribers I get and the more influence I have, I'm thinking more and more about what I want to do with that.
Yes, you do have quite an excellent voice, Lily. And the young woman that you are, you should think quite carefully about what you do with that following that you have. So let's get into some topics here.
I'm going to discuss three things. One is going to be heterosexual Pride Day. One is going to be the whole All Lives Matter situation. And related to that is going to be Like a Boy. Okay.
She's so cute, she laid out the three political trending topics right there. I see why she entangles them. Gay pride, Black Lives Matter, and feminism. These are social media points that, kind of broadly speaking, sort of seem to root here on YouTube. In my opinion, within the online atheist community. A long time ago, it got broke up by a bunch of, as I might call it, religious thinkers, people pushing other agendas and narratives in an environment that consists of skeptical, free, and logical thinkers. It was sort of the beginning time, the beginning of the SJW people who minded social and political acts and spoke out for feminine fairness. Also, seeing social justice as different, as opinions spawned like MRA, MGTOW, and other narratives that grew from the same social climate. But that's another story. Really, Gamergate is where it emerged again, and these same sorts of points filtered into mainstream media and now international politics. Here's Emma. So YouTube is sort of the grassroots of cultural change, for now. So she covers them all there, LGBT, BLM, and feminism. She laid them out to begin to address the dilemmas she expresses. So let's go through them. Now I understand why she kind of entangles them all. You know that simple problems can be dealt with simply, but complex problems need complexity to decipher and deal with, and to judge. So this might not be a short video. I'll try to put in as many jump cuts as possible, like the Mr. Onion guy or Onision. I never say these channels' names in real life, so that's quite telling about the climate of the internet. The jump cuts would be to quicken the pace and because I'm an idiot. There's some self-deprecation. Look, I listen and I watch and I keep track of a lot of YouTubers. It's been a great source of company, logic, and enjoyment for me. I've had no TV for 25 years. So I found Lilly late in the game. I think I found her only about 6 months ago. I guess it took so long to come across her because I wasn't really subbed to those teen-type popular content makers. And really, I only recently found a bunch of them. But I've known about Jenna Marbles. I mean, I've known about her for like 8 years or something. But Christina Rad and the atheist community was just more interesting to me. That's mainly due to my religious environment here, where a lot of critical thinkers suddenly seem to become unavailable to me. If I was still working in Toronto, I probably wouldn't have gained this interest, but here... So Lilly is also from Toronto, and she's what we would have called a PMSer, Pickering, Scarborough, Mississauga. These are the suburbs of Toronto. I'm from downtown, Spadina and Bloor, the Annex area. The Annex was a very old neighborhood right downtown. It was very multicultural, and it was kind of intellectual, in my opinion. I actually find a lot about her very familiar. Not that we have a generation in common, but we do have the T-dot mindset. And her channel's content has created happy and an inviting space for everybody, so it feels kind of familiar. Lately, she's been venturing into some more adult topics. And of course, social movements, you know, those that are trending in social media. So here's her invitation to start this conversation.
What are your views on this? I'm curious to know. Let's have some critical conversation. Let's start a conversation. Let's do it. So don't just listen to me. I want you to actually respond with critical thinking here. I'm really curious to know people's thoughts about things because I'm only one person with one mind. I can't possibly know all the ideas out there, so I like to learn people's ideas. Why do you feel this way? How do you feel this way? Dragged, or you got dragged. I'm not dragging anyone. Not everything's a fight. Friends, not everything's a fight. Sometimes I just want to have critical conversations.
Because there's a hashtag that was trending called Heterosexual Pride Day. And that irritated me. Sometimes I will openly admit I'm self-aware. I'm not the most patient person when it comes to ignorance. Oh my god, like it really bothers me when people are ignorant. But I realize that that's not the best way to act. Like sometimes dialogue and discussion and education are important, and those things require patience. So that's what I'm trying to do right now.
Yes, Lily, dialogue and discussion. Good communication requires education and patience to listen.
That hashtag bothered me, even though majority of the people using that hashtag were making fun of it and saying how unnecessary it was.
It's good that you realize it's a hashtag, making fun and poking at the political climate right now. So then it's done.
I made a tweet that said,
oh no, it's not done.
If you're someone who tweets hashtag Heterosexual Pride Day, you probably also tweet All Lives Matter and Like a Boy. We probably won't get along.
Oh, we won't get along? No, we won't get along?
And a lot of people were like, amen. But of course, there were a huge group of people that were like, what the F? Why is this wrong?
If Jenny McDermott can get along with Milo Yiannopoulos, or whatever his name is, there's hope for us, isn't there? Never mind. Oh, never mind. How can you say that? We're friends here. We're Team Lily. We're Team Unicorn. By the way, I've never owned a smartphone. Twitter is for twats. I've never been on it, and I don't ever want to. I don't think I've missed anything by not being a twatter. So I've never done hashtagging, nor do I want to. Now, saying that we're not going to get along, this after you just said there's no right and wrong person and that you aren't judgmental. Now you say we can't be friends because we have a different way of expressing opinion.
Everyone should be proud of their sexuality, of their skin color. Everyone should be unapologetically proud of who they are.
Pride is a healthy characteristic to behold, especially when you worked hard for a goal and achieved it. Of course, too much of it placed in inappropriate situations can be disruptive. Also, I kind of disagree to where you place pride. Of course, there's no need to apologize for things out of your control, like the country you were born in, skin color, and what you find attractive. But be proud of your personal triumphs and successes. Place of birth, skin shade, eye color, sexual orientation, and inheritance. It has nothing to do with anything that you did. It's arbitrary. You need to be proud of the good that you did, not the color of your skin or the sex that you have. What you do and say is who you are. You're not your cultural heritage, not your wallet size, and not your sexuality. They do have influence on who you are, but they don't determine who you are. They don't dictate the person that you want to be.
However, Heterosexual Pride Day is, in my opinion, I believe, a slap in the face to pride.
Ding ding! Yes, that's correct. It's a bad joke, it's not serious, and it's potty twatter. Twitter. Twatter. It's not important.
You know, this is the month of pride where gay, lesbian, trans, where all those letters, some of them I might be forgetting, but all of those people celebrate pride because they face inequality. They face lack of equity. They face a lot of hate. They get killed for their sexuality.
Killed for being gay or trans? Where? Not here. Not there, not where you are. That would be 100% against the law, and that would be an illegal murder regardless of the motive. It would be a one-off, a crazy person, right? People get convicted for murder in these killing cases. That's not acceptable, and media will prove that right now. History has shown that many of those types of killings have been in part motivated by religion. God will forgive them, right? Don't fearmonger. It's not open killing for LGBT.
They don't have the same rights as straight people. They face a lot of adversity, and therefore their pride is a sense of empowerment because they've had to fight for a lot of things.
Pridefulness is a sense of empowerment, that's true. And when Pride first started in Canada, it started out of the bathhouse raids in Toronto in 1981, and they had reason to protest, of course. And like all good gay attitude, they turned it into a great way to meet each other at an annual party and a celebration of freedom to dance in the street and affirm views of sexuality. For those who did not appreciate overt sexual displays, they just stayed home, gay or not. The internet and media kind of changed all that and brought those views into people's homes. They put it on their godly TV screens and on their favorite news channels. Now, they have made fabulous headway to change and amend some laws to make it more fair, like marriage laws, and since marriage is a contract, all people should have that right, especially because marriage affects your taxes. Equality is a constitutional right. Now, I'm sure that there's still more laws that can be refined, but restricting washrooms to transgender is not one of them. It's true, there's still plenty of work to be done within the laws for equality. Gay men have always been in positions as decision makers, whether or not they want to openly speak about their sexuality. Hell, even atheists are still condemned on some books.
When you have a group of people who are using pride and using a hashtag or using anything to fight for their rights, and then you come in and say, well, I'm not included in this.
They aren't, and they're haranguing about the lack of equality. They're making fun of the exclusive nature of something that's publicly inclusive. It could be speaking for people that are included in a group that just don't agree.
It might be because you don't face the same hostility towards your sexuality.
No, silly. Of course people aren't being harassed for being heterosexual. That's been the worldwide norm for ages. That's why we're here today. All people face hostility. Where there is something out of the popular view, it's generally ridiculed. When you put out a point of view, you're going to get feedback. No one is perfect, Lily.
And this is really wordy, is a blunt way of saying you don't need a heterosexual pride day, because every day is heterosexual pride day. You are allowed to get married in more countries than gay people are.
Of course they don't need it. It's a slant or a slight. Basically for many, and you should know this, in general, overt sexuality is not something that most people want to address. Sexuality is not really desirable for some people to address in the public arena, no matter what gender. Some religious, traditional, and even modest people are intimidated by it, embarrassed by it. Good or bad, right or wrong, some people feel the need to conduct themselves appropriate to their environment, surroundings, and activities.
I can't think of one country where gay people are allowed to get married and straight people are not, okay?
Okay, now you're just being ridiculous. Do you think we should have a country that makes heterosexual marriage illegal? Just to even out the score. Have you lost your mind? So here's a map of the world, and you can see in purple where same-sex marriage is legal. Yes, Lily, if you want to be the worldwide police, you as a www.YouTuber can reach that audience. You're going to have a lot of girl love to enforce the legal systems of other countries. Ah, voice for war.
Generally, people don't get killed for being straight.
Right. Too many straight people get killed for other reasons.
Generally, people don't get bullied for being straight.
Well, that's correct. Bullies look for differences, not similarities. If you do things different than others, bullies will come. Dear, it's the nature of bullying.
And people were just like, what, I can't be proud of being heterosexual? Be proud! But if there's a month dedicated to a group of people who have gone through so much, let them have it, you know?
Look, other strangers' comments on lines is not stopping them.
It doesn't matter if you're not included in a hashtag.
What part of the public does not like being included? Okay then.
Be happy you don't need the hashtag.
You're right, they don't need it. Hashtags are stupid. They are making fun of it. It's gay and frivolous. They are being a troll. It's not speaking for their true political standing. It's not speaking for any real legitimate amendment that they're standing for or not. People use social media for their amusement often. I can't believe I'm telling the queen of the internet this.
You get what I'm saying? And then a lot of people treated me being like, oh, so now I can't say all lives matter?
Yes, you can say it, Lily. Now, I know I'm a generation older than you, but I lived in Toronto too. I know how it was. This is Chinatown. I grew up just up the street from it, so I spent a lot of time there in Kensington Market. I remember one time I was coming back with my mother from Chinatown and we were taking the Spadina bus. It doesn't exist anymore. They have streetcars now.
Spadina bus, 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 Spadina bus. Get on the bus, get on the bus, yeah, right on the bus, right on the bus, right on the bus, right on the bus, Spadina bus, Spadina.
But we were taking the Spadina bus up from Chinatown back home, and the bus was packed, as usual. I was about 6 years old at the time, and I was listening to all the conversation on the bus. So I started to mimic it, and I started to go, and my mother became enraged. And out of the blue, without saying anything to me that I could recall beforehand, points her finger in my face and says, "Don't you talk like that." And she got off the bus. She simply got off the bus and left me there at 6 years old. Everyone was staring at me. I was mortified. And it was a big lesson. She didn't like me mimicking another culture. She felt it might have been interpreted as making fun. I was 6. I was only repeating what I heard in my life. There was no malice behind it. It was only enjoying the sounds and trying to recreate those sounds. Anyways, my mother had very strong views about these kinds of things, and she brought me up in such a way. All my first friends in life were multicultural. I didn't know about racism until I hit high school. You know, we used to go to this place, me and about, maybe 5,000 other inner city kids. It was a vibe. It was an energy. It was like no other place. It was something so new, so loving, so together. It was an all-ages warehouse nightclub. I went there when I was 16 years old, and I was there every single Saturday night. It opened its doors at 12 midnight, and we didn't pour out of there until 7 a.m. I remember walking home, squinting eyes, offended by all the morning traffic, and all I could hear was this high-pitched for the next 3 hours until I fell asleep. Not very good for the ears, but we did it. All the years go-go dancing in Toronto right in front of those big speakers. I'm sure it wasn't good for my ears. 185 Richmond. Long before the entertainment district and the wash of condos and clubs and restaurants that are in the area right now, there was only the Twilight Zone. It was on Richmond, just east of Spadina, on the south side, and it was the only thing around for blocks. I remember when there was chickens running around Richmond and Adelaide. It was all just old warehouses, many of which had been abandoned. And these guys came, these ingenious guys came, and rented this space. It helped introduce house music to Toronto, but it also provided a home to early hip-hop, freestyle, and new wave. International DJs played disco, funk, electro, early hip-hop, trip-hop, new wave, freestyle, house, and all kinds of other music got introduced to us. At the time, it was a state-of-the-art sound system. The Zone was the place to be, with large, diverse crowds dancing until morning, week after week. It closed in 1989, and we all miss it very much. The Twilight Zone is revered and remembered to this day, and there are annual reunions as a result. Tribute parties at the Revival on College Street. Unfortunately, I've never been there. The Assoon brothers and others have worked pretty hard at keeping this place in our memories, and I think they were able to name an alleyway just beside where Twilight Zone used to be, and now it's called the Twilight Zone Alley. During Zone Days, I met a friend from Scarborough. He taught me a lot, things that I would have never have learnt from a downtown kid. He took me to blockos of like 200 people. I might have been the only white person. It was really fun and interesting. I loved the music and I loved the dance and I loved being part of the whole vibe. I felt lucky to be included with his friends and family and all the festivities. I always hooked up with him at Carabana and he knew everybody. Anyways, I'd spend some time at his place in Scarborough, and he introduced me to some speeches from Louis Farrakhan that I thought were really eye-opening. He was one of the first friends that I had that would call his other friends nigga. I always felt really weird about that. It was something that I wouldn't say, so it was uncomfortable for me when he would say it. But I understand that was his friends and his culture and his thing. I also understand why he did it, because it was about taking back the word and having ownership and creating new meaning for it. Anyways, I want to tell you a quick story here. One time he was walking down the street with 5 of his friends in Scarborough late at night, and they were all partying and having a good time, and they see the 2 white couple walking along the street toward them. They were going towards their car, I guess coming out of a place for after dinner. And the 2 couples looked very scared and very nervous as they were approaching my friend Stefan and all of his friends. And they quickly ran into their car and click, 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 they all locked their doors as my friend walked by with his buddies. Well, what did Steph and his friends decide to do? Well, they got around the car and they went, whoa, and they started banging on the car. Now, of course, that's pandering into the fear of what these 2 couples have, that they're scared that these group of guys are going to come around this car and terrorize them, and that's exactly what they got. So anyways, I told my mother the story. I thought it was kind of funny because it would be something that maybe I would do. But my mother was horrified when I told her that story, and she said, "That's terrible. They're just reinforcing that stereotype." Anyways, interesting. Now my friend Stefan works within the court systems and helps minority groups finding their way through what can be a very complicated judiciary system. One thing that struck me when I first did a boom viewing of all of her videos when I first found her, of course the first thing that I noticed was that she was mimicking and making fun of her culture and her parents and her family. And that's a wonderful thing, because even though that it was playing on stereotypes, it was also breaking them down. It made maybe an Indian family look not so foreign to some. Something that they could find humor and comment about, find a common ground. But when I went back into the older videos, I saw one that said, something something brown girl. And I was noticing that she was referring to herself by her skin color a lot. I could have paid for braids in Dominican Republic too. Then recently I noticed sort of a separation of language sometimes when she was addressing her employee, Swike. Here's 2 examples, but there was one that I couldn't find where Swike kind of showed that she wasn't really appreciating it.
It's 500 vlogs. This is your 600 vlog.
What are we supposed to say? Do we like sing a happy birthday song or something?
Oh no.
Happy birthday vlog to you.
Who says the number
Happy.
in a birthday song? These white people, I swear to God.
White girls politicking. Speaking of which, are you politicking?
Is this how you politic?
Yes, very good.
We are all brown, shades of brown. These are skin tones. White translucent albino Scottish skin, or black midnight absorbent Nigerian skin. They are all minorities. Of the vast array of every flesh tone shade in between. Your heritage is Punjabi, but your Canadian self makes it fun to mimic the accent of Indian people. Plus, you often use the dialect of Island Trini people, which is kind of trendy. That was kind of cool when I went to high school as well. And it's also cultural appropriation, but it's okay because of your array. So let's get on with some topics here.
All Lives Matter, that hashtag was a response to the hashtag Black Lives Matter.
Yes, correct. That's right again, exactly.
Well, all lives matter, and not just Black Lives Matter. It's not about that.
But it is about that, Lily. If you put that out as a public statement, it's fair.
It's not only Black Lives Matter. They're just saying, hey, we're experiencing a time where in court, black people are being treated unjustly. Not only black people, many people do, agreed.
Right, not only black people. Let's not confuse the issue. It's a policing and court issue that needs to be addressed. And of course, like all inequalities, it targets the poor. It's a problem for everyone.
But specifically, a lot of black people get treated poorly. They get targeted by police. They're getting treated unfairly by police. They don't get clean water in certain cities. They are facing a lot of adversity. Therefore, they're saying our hashtag is Black Lives Matter too. Not saying F everyone else, but then people who aren't black will be like, well, my life matters too.
And they have a point. Theirs does. And maybe white people don't see that much difference when it comes to bad police, corrupt courts, and rundown neighborhoods. When it affects black people, it affects white people too. It's unfair and it needs to be corrected no matter what skin color of the victim. For the most part, victims are from poor areas, and we see a lot of blacks in poor areas. It is a systemic problem, but it is less of a legal problem and more of a social dilemma. Poverty is a problem and not a black and white issue. It's very difficult to get out of poverty, no matter what color you are. This feels a little weird saying this because all the black people that I know are in the same financial and social standing as the white people I know. Like you, Lily, your skin color and sex did not hinder you the ability to make money and friends. You are a very beautiful woman. That's why people are drawn to you, not because you have nice medium skin color.
Certain groups of people require certain levels of help, specific types of help.
Yes, and they need to get it. Like the example you make later in this video. Wheelchair ramps for more inclusivity. Blacks are not handicapped. That reminds me of one of my Facebook friends. He's the most vocally racist friend I have on Facebook. And he says being black is like being raped. I was shocked, and I was insulted, if that's possible, if that's okay. Here's a few examples of posts on his Facebook page that depict this mindset. Kind of freaks me out. Yes, all lives matter, but we're focused on the black ones right now, okay? Hashtags don't really get people to think. They produce mob mentality because it's very apparent that our judicial system doesn't know that. Plus, if you can't see why we're exclaiming Black Lives Matter, you are part of the problem. This is a public call-out that has a blaming effect. Publicly, the black community needs nurturing within the black community, and they need to work with the system to reform. But to rally the people and pit the public against each other is war propaganda. Of course, Black Lives Matter. That's not the issue. The issue is courts and police and opportunities for the poor. These things hit all of us, and to correct them corrects the issues for all of us. So you're part of the problem if your opinion differs about a hashtag. That makes it pretty scary and defiant to have another opinion about a hashtag. Apparently, the problem with the judicial system is being undermined by black and white issues. It pits people against each other, and that's the point of war, to divide and conquer. The fact is, the police have been becoming more militant for decades. These issues were not such a big deal before the war. This is a bit of propaganda. Ah, beautiful model, that's better. Pretty face. He also puts up very nice postings, so I enjoy seeing what he promotes. Who doesn't like that? He posts goals, successes, and rewards that people have achieved. Amazing Brazilian dancers, and you know I love watching dancing. Interesting articles about prostitution, of course, of interest to me. If you're a black woman, as I am, or Asian man, OK data shows that you're likely to receive fewer matches and messages. Black women face prejudice every day. I don't need it in online dating, too. Discrimination found everywhere, especially when you look for it. The fact is, Asian men and black women are still finding love interests, hooking up, having babies, and making families. Millions of you smile in awe of our music, comedy, inventions, athletics, fashion, etc. But when we're not entertaining you, you hate us? Sweeping statements that can be used during disagreements and arguments to provoke guilt from the other. Military action, this is scary. We don't need to be walking around trying to convince anybody that Black Lives Matter. We need to be walking around letting everybody know that if you fuck with one of us, then your life won't matter. That looks like judge, trial, and jury all in one moment. Whites killed the Indians, enslaved the blacks, and banished the Mexicans, then turned around and asked, why is everything about race? I didn't kill, enslave, or banish anyone. There's so much oversimplification of history here. I mean, I could make a whole video about this. You can always get out of a discussion by turning around the blame. White people. What about black on black crime? Me. What about white on everyone else crime? White people don't want to be criticized for what their ancestors did, but they sure as hell want to hold on to the profit their ancestors left. Well, there's really getting to the heart of the issue. Now, I have a good idea. How about we don't give any inheritance to any of our offspring? Our children reap no rewards from our hard work. They need to work for it themselves. That would fix the problem. Oh, this one's scary. If white people use colonialism and racism to establish false history and religion, why would you accept scientific evidence and theories from those same groups of people? White people established history and religion through colonialism and racism? That's inaccurate. Wow, they seem to encourage anti-science here because they think it's white. No stress, no bombs, no homeless, no crime, no prisons, no junk food, no external debt, no pollution, no poverty, and some people call them primitive? Who calls them primitive? That's subjective. If you're talking about technology, they're primitive. But there's one good thing that I can say about his ideology. What I like about it most is that he's open to conversation with me, even though my conversation keeps hitting roadblock with him. I don't know, I guess it's weird because I just had such a positive experience growing up in such a multicultural environment. I think Canada was special for that reason. The other day I asked a friend of mine here from Florida what his experience was in a multicultural high school. He said all the white kids hovered in the corner and got beat up by the black kids. I thought, ooh, that's terrible. I didn't have that experience at all. Goes to show you how different mentalities can be, how different cities can be, and how different integration can be. I remember this thing that we used to say, that here in Canada we had a mosaic, where people from all over the world would come and they would have their little place of color in the mosaic, the picture of what Canada is. But in the States, they had the ideology of a melting pot. So no matter where you came from, you would come to America and you would become American. If blacks are 14% of the population in the United States and we are deeming our policing and court issue a problem only for the blacks, then we really are limiting and reducing this problem to 14% of the population, which is just not correct. It's kind of like the post that he puts up where he says, look at this wonderful black artist. Now, if I worked at a skill and became a great artist, I certainly wouldn't want to be labeled as a white artist. I think it's nicer to be called a wonderful artist than a wonderful black artist or a wonderful white artist. If you're talented in the realm of humanity, not in the realm of the color of your skin. I don't want to be commended for my skill because I'm white. I want to be commended for my skill because I'm great at what I do. Because if I had accomplished something, I wouldn't want the headline to say, look at this incredible white artist. I find it very limiting and completely unimportant. I would be more inclined to look at an article that said, look at this incredible woman artist, and it happened to be a black woman. Because all of a sudden, she's being acclaimed in the world of artists, not in the world of blackdom.
Black History Month you find
ridiculous.
Why?
You're going to relegate my history to a month?
Oh, come on.
What do you do with yours? Which month is White History Month? No, well, come on, tell me.
Well, I'm Jewish.
Okay, which month is Jewish History Month?
There isn't one.
Oh, why not?
Yeah.
Do you want one?
No.
I don't either. I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is American history.
How are we going to get rid of racism?
Stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man. I know you as Mike Wallace. You know me as Morgan Freeman.
And specific types of empowerment.
Give empowerment to what group? What do you mean empowerment? Special encouragement for certain groups? Is this about feelings or rights? Well, what kind of help should be specifically given to black, gay, trans, and female people? And why?
And if you are not included in that hashtag, it's okay. Not everything has to be about you. You don't have to be like, oh, well, my life doesn't matter now. No, you don't need to have that mentality.
People have all sorts of mentalities, really. You don't have to have that mentality either, but you do. People are allowed to be fuckwits, assholes, and jerk-offs. And no political body should prevent them from being them. Remember, with this type of freedom of speech, it's a great way to find them, to learn more about them, or to know where they are so you can just stay away.
Same with Like a Boy. When Dove had their campaign, Like a Girl, the whole run like a girl, I fight like a girl, it was a female empowerment thing, and all these guys got Like a Boy trending. Hey,
Like a Boy is funny for many reasons. It's ironic. Not to mention it's actually perpetuating these retarded stereotypes. And we all already know them, so what? Get these gender topics out of our soap already. It's not everyone. Stop grouping people together. It's bloody feminist propaganda and it's not a clean message.
boys, did you have to fight for the right to vote?
Yes, they did. They shed much blood on many accounts for this right to vote. Okay, so now you're going back in history. Just so you know, it's not reversible. One thing is for sure, and that is evolution has been unjust to many.
You deal with your own issues. Granted, there's a lot of issues that guys deal with that girls don't. And so there's definitely issues on both sides.
Thank you, and there are many issues today that are very unfair to men. Plus, if you're a woman, you know all the problems about being a woman. What's more interesting for women to learn is the problems that men encounter. Sometimes it's nice to learn about things that you're not completely familiar with.
But historically, females have been suppressed. Therefore, we require a certain level of empowerment and help.
So because of history, women today need empowerment? There's that word again, empowerment. To do what? Help from who? And how is this help going to be implemented?
To regain self-esteem for a lot of our younger generations of girls. And this is a wordy way of me saying,
oh my God, regain? When did they lose their power? You know, some people are more timid than others. There are timid boys too. There's a shitload of girl representation for women in the media. In fact, really, they're all the stars at all the events. In fact, this empowerment of girls has been going on for a long time. This is not the whole poster, unfortunately. I don't have a picture with me of the entire poster. I don't have the poster with me at the moment. The title of this poster says, I want to be an engineer just like my mom. The poster was a government-funded poster, and it was in all the Toronto Board of Education schools. Now, my mother wasn't an engineer, but she did have some jobs that were typically done by men. The media likes to make mention of STEM science. However, there are some girls in that field, so it's just another talking point without rigorous thought. Not like they're worried about women being garbage men. You know, I wasn't allowed Barbie because my mother thought that it was a really bad influence on me. She thought that it wasn't correct representation to give young girls about what it meant to be a woman. I was told that Barbie was a bad stereotype. But I did get to watch color TV. We had a few channels. So I used to watch Sunday mornings for hours while my parents slept in. There was the regular Looney Tunes, but there was also Bollywood. And I watched Bollywood after Bollywood after Bollywood. The women were so beautiful with their long, silky black hair, and their singing, and everything was so romantic, and their outfits were glorious, and the colors were beautiful. I wanted a sari. My friend in school used to wear a bindi. I had a friend named Sonita in elementary school. She was an Indian girl, and I thought she was so beautiful like the Bollywood movies. I went to her house one day, and her mother washed her hair in the tub with regular soap. I thought, this is very different. And I went home and I told my mother, and she just explained to me that some cultures do things differently. Funny memories.
You know what I say to that comment? Bye.
shut the F up, you don't need one.
Calm down, Lily. No one needs a hashtag. Come back to Earth.
You've always had the upper hand in situations.
Who? The people making the hashtags? Who? Children? Big kids and trolls? I think they haven't the upper hand. Get a grip.
Let us have the hashtag.
No one is stopping you from having it.
I just feel like it's a slap in the face to people.
Yes, it is a verbal, virtual slap. Some slap better than others.
Who are going through something for you to come and be like, well,
we're all going through something. You know, that may be the point. We're all in this together, and the language of separation is exhausting. Some even lash out with their words about it. Ooh. Back in the early 90s, I had a bag with this picture on it. I thought it was really funny. I showed it to my boyfriend, and he didn't think it was very funny at all. I understand why. This was feminist propaganda. This was trending. This is not equality, and it's not very nice. It might be equity, like payback for all the hard times women have been through, but it's not equality. It's not fair to men today. Here we have an understandable backlash, and there's one that's a little bit more polished. And we can understand the backlash. It probably gained some traction and popularity. Ho ho ho, that's funny. Again. Here's one that has no controversy, so it wasn't that popular. But it certainly has a better message.
It's like, you know what it is? It's like endangered species. What? How ridiculous is that? You know what it is? Yes, more and more I'm talking about things I'm passionate about.
We are not different species. We are the same race, the human race. Only physically we've evolved differently, and we have different cultures depending on location. So let's hear this.
Pandas are endangered, okay? And maybe like, oh my god, I feel like we're just killing everyone on the planet that we know. Let's just say, I literally can't think of a single animal. Let's just say monkeys. If monkeys are endangered, I'm sorry, I'm unaware. But let's say there's pandas and monkeys. You take special care of pandas because they're endangered. So when you say save the pandas, you're not saying F the monkeys, go kill the monkeys. You're just saying that in this time and place, pandas need more of our help because they're being treated and targeted in a certain way.
That's an interesting analogy. You can stop humans from treating pandas badly, but you can't really stop another human from treating you badly. The best you can do is just walk away or get a restraining order against them. In the West, we have laws that are basically written to protect all people, regardless of skin color, sex, gender, and ability. Whatever, we have pretty fair laws compared to other places on the globe. So how about this analogy? All those people speaking out on Twitter that are trying to support their narrative for suppression, for an agenda that has no solid outcome for success. Sort of like the ongoing wars. It's just rhetoric. Instead of these people being a dying race of pandas, maybe they're just people on an airplane complaining that technology hasn't moved fast enough. Delayed? Now I'm gonna be late. Oh, this seat is so uncomfortable. This crappy movie again? The thing is flying through the sky. Only 100 years ago was the first commercial flight. Before then, you'd be walking uphill with fish in your mouth. Really, you can't rewrite history. You can learn from it. Humanity can't make its mistakes go away, and it can only move forward, and it has to be together. We are on this planet, we've come this far, so how can we grow our constructive knowledge? Like making better public travel, and not complaining about the degree of amazing change that we've made thus far in such a relatively short period of time. Instead of finding fault in the result of history, we can concentrate on making it better for humanity in specific ways.
I wasn't offending anyone, and to be honest, I'm not apologizing because...
Well, what do you stand for that you think you might have to apologize for, Lily? Nothing.
I really do believe what I stand for, but I want you to think more critically.
Think critically about hashtags?
Some research on it, and just like I was stalking Amber a little bit, because she's actually so sweet and kind in person, and I really took a liking to her.
Oh, that's sweet.
The walk of no shame, where she basically does the walk of shame stereotypically, and like she's not ashamed of it. And like all the comments underneath it are like, what a slut. If Amber Rose actually wants to help slut shaming, then she should stop dressing like a whore. And that's like top comments, stop dressing like a whore. And I'm just like,
so those are the top comments, and they surprise you? It's interesting.
The thing about the word slut, right? I'm kind of caught in the middle here. I'm caught in the middle where I'm like,
I can imagine that you would be caught in the middle, since your upbringing was fairly modest, and you don't dress like that.
It's a word that's used so commonly. Is it realistic for us to think people will stop using the word? What? What? Here's the thing.
How can you stop people from using a word? You want to make it a law? You want to put them in jail for using it? You want to outlaw and police language? That's a dangerous path you're on. Yes, it is embedded in today's society, like all other language. You know, there is a definition for the word slut, and it's accurate to use it within its definition. A woman who has many casual sexual partners. A woman with low standards of cleanliness, so that's interesting. It's a word that's defined as a woman with many casual sexual partners. However, equality tells me it can be used for men as well. Some people don't like to have partners that have a lot of experience, but some people do.
What do you think? Is it realistic? Is it not realistic for people to stop using the word slut? I feel like it's so embedded into society. Or should we accept that reality and say, okay, let's change the meaning of the word then in the way Amber has? Because her Twitter bio says certified slut. She's like, yeah, you want to call me a slut? Great, I'm going to make it a positive thing. She kind of works to make slut a synonym for sexy. Because she's like, yeah, I'm sexy, and I'm not ashamed about it, and I'm not going to feel guilty about it.
Amber has not changed the meaning of the word slut. She's just reinforced it. She's actually reinforcing the visual definition. She dresses like somebody who's selling sex, and that's what she's doing. People who are selling sex dress the way she does. She uses her body as a sexual vehicle for fame, and that's okay. She can do what she wants. Lilly, it's not realistic or fair to prohibit people from using language. People call her a slut because of the way she dresses, and she dresses provocatively, which provokes sexual thought. Now, there is a difference in interpretation between slutty and sexy. They have two different definitions.
And I'm specifically using Amber as an example. Let's talk about any other woman. Why is that if a woman is talking some sense, like, yo, I want to show my body, I don't give an F, why do we label her a slut? If she said the exact... Okay, I don't know what I'm... Okay.
Women having sense is not really defined by the amount of skin she wants to show. A woman making sense isn't signified by her lack of clothing. The fact is, if you show a lot of skin to the mass public, that's what they know of you. If you spend a lot of time in the public eye showing off your vagina and tits, then yes, the public will think that that's what you use your brain power on. Makes sense. It's kind of the easy route, isn't it, though, to use your body? What do you think requires more diligence and skill? To concentrate on your appearance and go get surgery and promote your body? Or to spend many years educating yourself and learning a skill? What's more difficult? And use your skill to better society in some way.
Why is it wrong for a woman to show her body if that's what she wants to do?
Well, it's not wrong. Many women do show off their body if it's comfortable to do it.
You know what I'm saying? So I want y'all to think critically about this. The idea of slut, I think when we call people a slut, sometimes we think that like this girl, she's like losing her ish because she's like posting provocative pictures and she's sleeping with a whole bunch of guys and she's gonna regret this ish and like she's like lost her mind, she's like slutty. What if that's what that girl wants to do?
If a girl wants to sleep with many men, she does. Whether she wants people to know about it or not. And if people know, they might pass judgment or say something to her.
Who are we to be like, don't do that? A girl should be able to do whatever the F she wants with her body. She should be able to dress however the hell she wants. If you don't like it, that's your problem.
If somebody doesn't like public overt sexuality, they're within their right to say something. They're within their right to say something about it and voice their opinion. And if she doesn't like it, that's her problem. Remember, she is the one that put her ass in the public spotlight.
It's kind of similar to how, you know, a lot of people believe that gay people shouldn't be intimate in public. Like, I don't want to see gay people holding hands and I don't want to see gay people like being in relationships. And I think, you know, the majority of the population, I would like to believe, that understands that that's a little bit whack. Like, gay people should do whatever they want to do. They're in love. Love is love. Who cares?
Right. Love is love and hate is hate. Some people love and some people hate public overt sexuality or violence. A parallel between gays holding hands and Amber's public nudity? That's funny.
It's the same idea about like this idea of women dressing a certain way. If you don't like the way a woman dresses, why do you feel like you are able to label her something?
We label, we associate, and we describe because we can.
And I say this specifically to girls. I feel like girls and guys both, but I feel like girls do this a lot. Like, oh, that girl's really slutty. Like, just because she doesn't dress like you and how you would dress, it does not make her slutty.
I could wear a slutty dress and actually describe my attire that way. Men can also assess whether a woman appears to be dressing like a slut. Look, a person may not be what they appear, and that's the truth. You could dress like a slut, be identified as a person who dresses like one, and not actually be one. But if enough people tell you that you look like one, you will be made aware of it. Some attire is hard to ignore.
There's so many good conversations about the definition of if you should change the definition of the word slut or just stop using it.
Discussion of if we should stop using the word.
And so the question I'm posing to all of you is, do you think we should change the definition of the word slut? Do you believe we have that power? Or do you think that we should try to make people stop saying the word slut? What? Let's talk about that. Why is that a bad example? Why is a woman who shows a little bit of cleavage and wears a miniskirt a bad example?
Your attitude and the way you conduct yourself and your choice of clothing all say something about who you are. And when you're half naked, it says, I depend on my body for attention.
It's kind of twofold, right? Like, I don't want my younger daughter to like dress like that and be perceived like that. Why?
Your parents are good, Lily. Some parents want their child to use their brain for affirmation, not their sexuality or their body. Parents don't want the disappointment that their children will encounter if they use their sexuality and their body as a way for success, because the body changes. If your best foot forward is your vagina, then people realize that your vagina really is the best part of you.
If you really believe that women should get consent and women have rights and women should be aware of their bodies and proud of their bodies, why is it bad to show cleavage and wear miniskirts?
It's not wrong to wear miniskirts and show cleavage. Women do it all the time. How are you connecting rape to clothing? Number one, yes, people know that if they want to have sex, the other person has to want it too. Number two, it's not bad for women to show cleavage or miniskirts. Women do it all the time. So here's some examples of women in miniskirts and showing cleavage, and it's not a problem. Where are you getting this idea? Showing cleavage and wearing miniskirts doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be a millimeter away from exposing the nipple or the clitoris.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just being devil's advocate here, and I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments. Because I feel like everyone wants to be reserved with their daughters and kids, then also wants their kids and daughters to have sex and have kids so they can have grandkids. I understand there's so many fears. I'm not a parent, so I understand there's so many fears about like the way people would treat you if you dress a certain way.
You can have sex without dressing sexy or slutty. And you don't have to be a parent to know that you are treated differently depending on how you present yourself in the world. I think you know this, but the sexualization of children is a little worrisome.
Then how do we fight the problem? It's like, what is this idea that girls dressing a certain way is a bad example?
That's not really a problem. There is real problems in the world, and that's not one of them. The way a person dresses tells another what interests and activities they have.
I'm very deep in thought right now. I'm very deep in thought. I need to go write. I need to go write about this. The idea, sorry, I'm just so into this right now. The idea that the word slut is so subjective, like...
Yes, descriptions come from subjective minds that describe.
But then what if you're someone that loves wearing shorts? Is it okay for you to see someone wearing a miniskirt and be like, you're a slut? Like, what? It's so subjective and so stupid and random.
Yes, we have used that word to describe indiscriminate, frequent sexual activity. What is stupid is that you're outraged by the word slut.
But we've all been guilty of using the word and calling people sluts. It's so dumb if you think about it. And I think I'm mostly affected by this because I saw so many stupid comments under Amber's video, and she was so damn nice to me. And she was so wonderful, and she was just so passionate about what she was talking about, and I'm just like, literally no one in this video is listening to her because she's showing cleavage? Does that make any sense?
Sorry, were you saying something?
What?
Here's another example of 1970s promotion of equality and girls' rights. This was an album that I think I probably have listened to over 800 times. I pretty much know the whole thing off by heart. Free to Be You and Me by Marlo Thomas and Friends. And that beautiful pink album with those crazy bubble letters with all those wonderful kids crawling all over the letters that I used to just stare at for hours. My album was even signed. I don't have it with me like the poster, but I found this signed one online, so that must be a popular thing. Did you hear about the little girl who was a tender, sweet young thing? Well, that's the way she thought of herself. And this tender, sweet young thing spent a great deal of time just looking in the mirror saying, I am a real little lady. Anybody could tell that. So there's equality for women. She says things like, ladies first, so hand over a whole mango, please. And they did. Or this one, another great lesson in gender equality. Hi, I'm a baby. Well, what do you think I am, a loaf of bread? Could be, what do I know? I'm just born, I'm a baby. I don't even know if I'm at the hospital or what. I'm just glad to be here. There was a great lesson in gender equality in that one. So his father bought him a baseball bat and a badminton set, and that's not all. A bag of marbles, a baseball glove, and all the things a boy would love. And Bill was good at every game and enjoyed them all the same, but when Bill's father praised his skills, "Can I please have a doll now?" said my friend Bill. A doll, William wants a doll, a doll, William wants a doll. Or the Princess Atlanta, who worked very hard every night to run the course as fast as any man had ever done it before. It's a fabulous album. You should acquaint yourself with it. I love that album, but it might be boring for you. It's just about equality and girls.
It's about equity. And Humble the Poet has taught me the great difference between equality and equity, and that is equality is treating everyone the same regardless.
Yes, we should treat everyone the same regardless.
That is not the best way to do things. I know we use the word equality loosely, but
I'm not using it loosely.
equity is what you want. That's when people are treated how they need to be treated.
I treat everyone the same regardless of sex, color, or status.
Equality would mean, hey, everyone's gonna walk up this staircase of 50 stairs to get into the school. That's equality.
Equality is we can make the class equal for all to attend.
Equity is that, hey, we're also gonna have a ramp so people in wheelchairs can get into the school because that's how they need to be treated.
That's equality. If equity was possible and a true omnipotent being could judge this, one that could judge the difficulty and hardship and sorrow that one has experienced in a lifetime, and if it could be judged on some sort of scale of happiness and pain, then possibly a person that you might least expect might deserve a full cuddling as they go up the stairs while delicately being fed grapes. How do we judge the biggest victim?
We're in this together, humanity. I still have faith. Because I do comedy, and recently my Twitter turned into this like political, like whatever, and I'm not gonna be apologetic about it. I still want to make people laugh, but I believe in things and I stand for things. But I would just like to show you a different side that you might have not been exposed to before.
I am talking about serious issues more and more. I'm not trying to like turn it into a nagging channel. I'm so fun and crazy, you know what I'm saying? But a little tidbit of information about me. Although I'm a super one love person and I like to believe I have a lot of patience, when I do get my buttons pushed, I get like enraged by some things. I have to like talk myself out of it and be like, okay, it's fine. For example, I get really enraged with injustice. Like,
me too, I get enraged by injustice. Life.
People who write racist or like homophobic things or like gender inequality, like all enrages me.
People who write things? Ooh. I guess for me it would depend on who's writing it.
When people say things to me, I think I have a higher tolerance because I guess I make videos on the internet and I deal with a lot of hate comments, so like I feel like I have a thicker skin. But if anyone was to ever say something about someone else in front of me that was like homophobic or racist, like I get enraged.
In front of me? Oh yes, you must address injustice that happens in front of you, for sure. You can't ignore the things that happen in your own life.
Bring it down a notch. They're being super racist and I'm just like, every part of me wants to drag them because I know I have the ability to do so, but I promote what I love, don't bash what I hate. So instead of tagging the person and whatever, I was just like, hey, I love Punjab. Curry's great, I'm Punjabi. And that was my, you know.
I love curry too, Lily. That's all you can really maturely respond with.
It's no secret that people will do mean things to gain traction.
Oh yes, controversy sells.
I think it's important to remember that when people do things like that, the best way you can not contribute to it is not to tag them, not to tweet them, not to mention their name because you're giving them more publicity. And
sometimes ignoring a problem is the best way to make it go away. But sometimes it could give the problem time to solidify and strengthen. Either way, if the problem is an ideology, it can't be eradicated with force.
You know what's up, Team Super? I got mad deep and I had like a 3-minute rant because I was saying how with all things happening in the world, it's each and every person's responsibility to do something and not feel helpless and do something within their life to positively impact the world and people.
That's so nice. Yes, Lily, great message.
Anything, even if it's just making somebody that you already like smile.
Oh, Humble.
Doesn't have to be complicated.
You're so sweet.
I want everyone to be aware, and I don't feel people do this with bad intentions, but I want everyone to be aware of the dangers of the words Muslim or Islamic alongside the word terrorist.
Those two words are not dangerous together, they are descriptive.
And I feel like this is an issue where a lot of people say it, not realizing it, but Muslim terrorist and Islamic terrorist, that's not the correct term.
But it is correct if the motivation for terrorism is religion. We can't stop a conversation by prohibiting two words from being said together.
Terrorism has no religions.
A terrorist is somebody who terrorizes for an ideology, which can be motivated by religion.
And so to associate those two words together is very dangerous because it leads people to believe that all Muslims will be terrorists.
Oh, I understand fear of the ignorant. They can be dangerous. As long as you have the media pushing a narrative, media can push a narrative that can kind of brainwash weak thinkers. However, we can't censor truthful words from critical thinkers. Those two words describe a fact.
Islam and Muslims are associated with terrorism, and that's not the case. Just because someone claims to be a religion and kills people.
Right. Not everyone is who they claim to be. Crazy people will come up with whatever crazy reason in their head to kill if that's what they want to do. However, if we're taught as a child that God thinks it's good to kill, then we have a teaching that needs to be scrutinized severely. There's no religion that's above scrutinizing or critical thinking. You know, there's a lot of smart people on YouTube that are talking about these things. If you're interested, you should become a part of the conversation. You could bring a lot of exposure to this important conversation.
That's equivalent to me being like, I'm killing you, let me yell something, and now suddenly I represent a whole group of people. It doesn't mean I actually follow that, you know what I mean? So
that is exactly what's happened. And they truly believe they are following the words of the holy book.
That's like, honestly, let me just break it down for you real talk, what the dangers of that are. After 9/11, when people had this Islamophobia, like, people that looked like humble.
He was gardening, and somebody murdered him while he was gardening.
Simply because.
And that is dreadful. These are dangers of stupidity, ignorance, prejudice, bigotry, lack of education and experience, lack of exposure to other cultures, and racism. These people are so stupid, really, fear drives them. And if they knew anything about the Constitution, they'd know that you can't establish theocratic law here. Sorry, that's just ridiculous. People are insane.
They thought a terrorist had a certain look.
You know, the media in Europe has been suppressing information about crimes that are happening there. And they're not talking about the religion of the people causing the influx of crime. It's happening in places like Germany. The media is terrified of disclosing immigration issues for fear of being unliberal or racist.
Some terrorists or Islamic terrorists do not support that. When the media says it, be aware of it, be critical thinkers.
So when an atrocity happens from a terrorist, we wonder, what was their ideology? Terrorists can have many different political motivations. But if a group, religion, or ideology is the motivator for terrorism, we need to know.
And now we all know Nelson Mandela is one of the greatest human beings to ever exist. He was labeled a terrorist. George Washington, who is the founder of this country, was also labeled a terrorist by the British.
He was creating a secular state by force, a different ideology than the British. Of course the British deemed that as treason.
You can't pick and choose, like Muhammad Ali was Muslim.
Yeah.
So
his fame certainly doesn't signify his intelligence.
He's a loved and wonderful icon who was Muslim. So
he credits Islam as giving him peace. So people have to understand that Islam can give people peace. It can also motivate people to do horrible things, but that's all because of beliefs.
Yes.
Yes, religion can give peace. It's always nice to belong to a group. There's security in that. But right now, religion is giving terror in certain areas. Some areas more prevalent on the globe than others. To address the problem may require critically analyzing the teachings. We need to know what's being taught so we can understand what might provoke those actions.
And when he says motivates people to do horrible things, that means that person's interpretation. Like, just because a person claims they're doing things for a reason, it doesn't actually represent that religion.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
But a religion can represent those actions if the religion teaches those to do it. The KKK, pro-lifers, and those who fought interracial marriage and gay marriage, many of them have their ideas drawn from religious words. We can find parts of the Bible that need to be ignored in order to be a functioning, sane person in today's society. I actually don't even know this, Lily. Are you religious? Because if you are, maybe you can tell us what teachings you have to ignore from your holy book in order to be a moderate, to inspire other religious people to be as moderate as you. You could really bring a big audience to this conversation and topic. Some people are not moderately religious, and they can be dangerous, no matter what religion they are. Is it possible that the wars have created an environment where there's a lot more religious people? And what are those religions teaching? So here's a world map, and we can see, like Christianity, there's a lot of division and different interpretations for the holy words.
Anyways, comment below with your thoughts. We'd love to know them. Comment below, comment below, comment below. Do good, be good, love good. They can say whatever they want to say, no matter how rude or how inhumane or how heartless to people just because they're celebrities. It boggles my mind. I do not understand.
What I want is to say, I love you, you're all good, we love you, Lily. But the flippant tyrannical side of me wants to say, shut up, you slut, go suck an egg. I should probably take that part out.
It's not like you would go up to someone on the street and be like, yo, by the way, go kill yourself. Like, what are you wearing? I hate you.
That's been known to happen and you walk away, right? Oh yes, celebrities leave themselves open to the crazies. Expose themselves to the crazies.
Why is it okay for people to say that to people just because they're on TV?
Because we have this wonderful free speech. You know, it happens to people who are not in the limelight too. But when you're a celebrity, you draw these people to you.
I know the argument is all like, oh, well, they have money and fame, whatever, they don't have any problems.
Money and fame can make some problems easier, but it also can create new ones. I'd say that the money from fame can protect you from the crazy public. However, it does seclude you from the public as well.
Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, that's fine, but there's a limit. Just because
it's fine to have an opinion with a limit? So it's fine to have an opinion, but it has to be within a limit? Who sets the limits of opinion? Careful now, dangerous path you're on.
What is it because you think that you're actually never going to meet the person, so you just tweet or comment whatever you want, or is it because you're behind a computer screen?
Yes, exactly, the anonymity of it all. It is in the privacy of your own home, where you can say and think and write whatever you want, despite anyone's ability to express well.
In the small little world I'm in, I'm kind of in the public eye as well. Constructive criticism, very appreciated.
We all love positive feedback. And in a perfect world,
pointing out specific things, saying I think you can improve on this, or I didn't particularly like this.
And in a perfect world, all would act in accordance perfectly with each other's needs. But that's not realistic, is it?
When you just say stupid things like go kill yourself and jump off a bridge and things like that.
Now this is the humor of an adolescent.
Granted, I totally agree. People die around the world every day, but that doesn't mean you can take away people's right to mourn for someone. I mean,
again, this is words from another. It's not taking any rights away from them. People can be ignored or addressed, but you can continue what you do regardless of what people say about it.
But you can't be like, oh, don't mourn for this person.
Yes, they can, and it doesn't make them sensitive or nice people. But they can write it if it's a public space.
People who have a dream, work towards it, and actually make it are penalized because the world hates them after that.
No, it doesn't. That's silly. If the world hates them, it's not because they worked towards a dream and made it. People can become envious, if that's what you mean.
Wouldn't it be just so much better if people were like, oh, you had a dream when you were a kid? Oh, you went through ups and downs? Oh, you made it. Now
yes, youth wishes for idealism, especially when childhood was made so comfortable.
If I could go back in time and tell myself, stop worrying about being normal. I mean, I used to have this idea growing up that there was cool and there was normal and we should be those things and we should all fit into this nice neat category that doesn't exist. So
right, and then you grow up and realize that people don't fit into nice neat boxes.
Growing up I was a huge tomboy and I used to be so embarrassed of that.
Tomboys are normal.
Or, you know, growing up, my family looked different from everyone else's families. Whether it was who was in my family or like the color of our skin or what it was. And I remember being so embarrassed about differences. You know, my hair was way longer than everyone else's hair.
Lily, your differences were not that different. Ooh, long hair, that must have been difficult. What hardships. What hardships. What a minority you were. That must have been so difficult to deal with.
Looked like mine, so clearly something was wrong with me.
Clearly there was nothing wrong with you.
And I remember being so embarrassed and always trying to downplay all these amazing differences I had and trying to seem very normal, trying to seem accepted, trying to seem like how everyone else seemed.
That's the nature of high school, fitting in, social order, blah blah blah.
For example, I would never try anything new. I used to be so bad at sports. I remember I used to cry during gym class, and
lots of kids go through timid stages and many girls don't like gym class. That's normal. That's not unusual.
I even still don't know how to run, but I mean, I would never try and I'd never want to step outside my comfort zone because I was so scared to stand out. You know, I already stood out. I was passionate about weird things.
Most people don't really want to stand out too much, but sticking out the right amount is cool.
Was the only girl who liked wrestling. I always stuck out and I always thought that was a bad thing.
You were the only girl who liked wrestling? Oh, I bet the boys couldn't relate to that very much.
Today when I meet people and they're different from me, I'm like, I want to be your friend. Teach me all the things and I want to know so much about you and where you come from and all these things that make you who you are. But when we're growing up, we don't think like that. We think there's this one idea of what people should be, and when we don't fit it, it's stressful.
Bad to stand out and be popular? Yes, you have become more open-minded. Experience and exposure makes a difference. It's less stressful.
I think the biggest thing I would tell myself is that you're never really alone.
Sweet, you're lucky, Lily. You can't be alone with family, friends, money, good looks, and millions of followers. We can all have that, right?
I remember growing up, specifically in high school, there were so many times where I felt so alone because I felt like there's no one else that thinks like me and is going through what I'm going through. And
no, some people are really alone. And that's okay too. It might wield more strength.
I think I spent so much of my teenage years trying to fit in and be cool that I forgot being different is the coolest thing you can be.
You weren't cool because you were so different. You were cool because you were you. Pretty Lily.
All these things that make you different are gonna get you so far in life.
Well, sometimes. It depends what difference you're talking about.
Because dear young Lily, all those amazing different qualities you have, no one else has those same ingredients. And only you can be the awesome person you can be.
That's a nice message, Lily.
In conclusion, I would say you are everything you need to be happy. Love me.
You're good, Lily. We love you.
It's like a cold reality and harsh realization that like unicorns and positive videos, they can't save people's lives.
I love reality and unicorns don't exist. It's true, your videos don't save lives. But they do inspire feelings and thoughts. And they've given you the ability to change lives for the better if you choose.
It's this reality that like no matter what you do, people are still gonna die. People are still going to be ignorant, and that is unsettling to me because I feel helpless. I don't know what to do to help people. I don't know how I can help people, and it's almost a realization that you can't help people.
Yes, you can help, but not from an ivory tower. You have to listen and spend your time and work in order to do that.
And it's so unsettling to me. It makes me feel some type of way, and I just went on a huge Twitter rant being like,
Twitters and videos is doing nothing. But the social media platform you've earned gives you financial and physical freedom. Freedom to actually go and to help people. People who could use an opportunity. Listen, Twitter rants do nothing except rile the people to rant more. The mass mentality is not a healthy one.
We are in this together, dude. We are not witnessing humanity. We are part of it. We all have to do something to help in our own way. And you might be thinking like, oh, I'm one person, a student, and so what am I going to do? Like, dude, something is better than nothing. Whether it's spreading positivity, whether it's helping someone in need in your own little way, like we all have to do something because the world can be a bad place, but I really believe there's so much more good than there is bad. We just have to really proactively effing do something about it. Like we all have to put in extra hours, extra effort, extra work because it affects us all. We're in this together. And I mean, like I just texted a whole bunch of my gay friends being like, I'm sorry, like on behalf of the world, like I'm sorry that people are so ignorant towards you and care and give an F about who you love.
That's nice, just so you know. Sending positivity isn't fixing suffering. Doing actual actions help, and to listen to what's needed.
You have to do something about it. You can't just sit there and be like, oh, what am I gonna do? I'm one person. No, then as one person, think of something to do. Like we have to do something about all the stuff that's happening.
So now you're making me turn this video into a quick starter video.
So that's what I've committed to. In my own little way, I'm going to continue trying to change the world for the better. And I'll encourage you to do the same, man. Get together with a group of friends or your family and talk about it. And talk about what you can do to help. In any such way. Whether it's donating, volunteering, as simple as like reaching out to someone in your community that might need help. Or just think of ways, man. We're in this together. We got it. We don't have a choice. We're in this together. I'm gonna shut up now.
Hey Lily, I have an idea. Why don't you put your money where your mouth is? The fact is, Lily, you're in a great position to help. You know how it is. When you have money, you have no time, and when you have time, you have no money. So I've been here for 15 years, and in the past 4 years, I've been able to earn between $400 and $800 a month, which doesn't give me a lot of room to budge. So I spend a great deal of my time and energy with the kids. I have them over, I teach them ballet, I teach them English, I prepare for them foods that they've never tried. I do what I can, but these girls are in a high-risk situation, especially if they're pretty. The best way that a young woman can make money down here is to sell her sex. If you care about young girls, you don't have to go very far. There's lots of girls that you can help right here in the Americas. So I have time and I live in a place that it's easy to help others. I have 2 foster dogs here now. If you want to help girls, it might be really interesting for you to pick several places on the earth that are high risk and in great need. You could go to these places and meet them, listen to them, find out what their needs, and then help their whole family and change their opportunities and the way they do things for the rest of their lives. You could change the history and the opportunities of an entire family. In some communities, you don't have to reach out to find ways to help. In some communities, the request for help comes to your front door. Just over here, I have neighbors here that live with only tin roofs under the hot sun and dirt floors. And most of these homes have no hot water, and their sewage system drains right to their front door. It wouldn't cost but $10,000 to give 3 families a real difference in life. You could even videotape it and show how their lives have been improved. Like how Fuzi went and visited that child with cancer. You could also reach out to the public and help the public that's not just in the throes of sickness, but the public that needs opportunity. My point of this is not to beg. My point is to let you know that actions will help people, not hashtags. Don't be scared of harsh free speech. Actions, not words. Remember, sticks and stones. If you're going to fear something, fear the realities of survival. And if you want to help, you have to listen and work. So, finally, in closing, we love you, Lilly. We love you, Lilly. But if you want to start getting political and really helping the people, especially girls, then maybe you could help give them opportunities that they would never have without you. Because right now, the only opportunities they have is to spread their legs for an educated, affluent American man who comes here to pay for it. And a lot of these girls look at people like Amber Rose and say, that's me. And a lot of these uneducated prostitutes look at Amber Rose and say, I want to dress like that. It would be good for business. Maybe, Lilly, you could help teach them that there's other things that they could do with their lives. Please like and subscribe so that more than 200 people can see these crazy videos I make. Meow.
Make the day count. Do what you can do. Humanity. We're in this together. I already said it. I'm not going to keep saying it. Just, your actions matter. That's all I'm going to say. Your actions matter. But yeah, if you like it, subscribe. If you like it, subscribe. If you like it, subscribe.
I liked it, I subscribed, I liked it, I subscribed, I liked it, I subscribed. Oh yes, and I subscribed like a bouse. By the way, this lipstick would be really good for the girls down here. It would be great for work.